Hello and welcome back. This is Titus Valspar here with another video. And right as we get started here, there's been this idea of what I've wanted to do as a video series for a while and wanting to pick up and give you some more consistent uploads and a series to kind of keep up with. And I was thinking for a while as to what I could do to allow that to occur. And one thing that I've always wanted to do is in regards to the story quest. And the reason why, as you can see, I've already got all of the acts completed with 100% completion, but there's an element in these story quests that I absolutely love reading through and know that a lot of people tend to skip over just from what I've seen. And it does happen with the monthly event quests as well, though I'm not as particularly attuned to that as of right now. However, if you have interest in seeing this type of idea with this monthly event quest, please let me know, as I'd be willing to go ahead and have a look at that as well. But it's mainly due to the dialogue that goes through the little interactive cutscenes that pop up throughout the quest in each of the chapters and each of the quests in each act. And so what I wanted to do as kind of this idea is I wanted to go through each of the quests and provide a read story dialogue to each of the elements of the story that goes through. But I wanted to make it a little bit more interesting as well, instead of just doing a standard reading of the dialogue that pops up. So what I've decided to do is to perform a kind of a challenge, if you will, a quest lock, as I haven't seen anything of this particular variants that's been introduced yet into Marvel Contest of Champions. So what you can see here is there are 5 different acts with, talk of in Act 6 or chapters thereof coming available further on later this year in 2019. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. But coincidentally, there are also certain rarities of characters here within the game, and there's just a brief glimpse at some of the top characters in my roster, but you'll notice that even with the inclusion of an Act 6 coming out, that there are different rarities of these characters. So I thought it would be kind of fun to go through each of those acts and not only describe the story, but also provide dialogue, as well as this kind of quest lock idea. So the idea that I'm introducing in this video and will continue into the preceding additions to this series is going to be, for Chapter 1, I am going to be restricted to the use of only 1-star characters. So I should say Act 1, I am restricted to the use of only these 1-star characters. And, when I get into Act 2, that'll unlock the 2-star characters and so on and so forth. The last element that I wanted to do in order to keep this interesting is if at any point I lose one of my characters, say, for example, I'm in Act 3 and I lose my Spider-Man, then I am no longer allowed to use that character in that rarity continuing forward. Now, I am going to say, just for the sake of getting through the challenge, I am going to go ahead and, if I need to revive in order to get through that chapter, I can do that in order to keep the character together, or to complete that chapter of the quest. But after exiting the quest, if any of those characters have fainted or been knocked out, then I will no longer be allowed to use that character in that rarity, and I will continue to keep a tally of that. So this video was more than anything just to introduce that theme to you, and also to go ahead and get through the first couple of quests in this the first chapter of the first act out of the way, as they do tend to be a little bit shorter. So let's go ahead and jump into that, and I will go ahead and read through the dialogue that pops up, as well as we give some audio to this in-story dialogue. So I'm going to go ahead and demote my questing team that I've been using for the new monthly event quest, and restrict myself only to these 1-star characters. Now, because I don't have higher than a 1-star rarity or 2-star rarity of this classic vision, I'll go ahead and use him. Bring Wolverine on board. I had Wolverine once upon a time, but reluctantly had sold him back when I was naive and didn't know better than to sell characters. Bring on, Colossus gets a bad rap, but we'll bring him on board. And I don't foresee myself using Gamora in further chapters, so let's get her some reps in here. All right, and then with that 1-star team, let's get into the meat of this quest. All right, Collector, this circus is over. Quite the contrary, Flagman. The contest will continue. Me and my friends, we're going home and we're taking you down with us. Is that so, Flagman? Stand proud against the contest, if you can. And it's been a minute since I've been through these quests, so... Captain, be warned. All our friends and allies, they're immobile. They're immobile. Something about this realm, it saps our willpower. Dr. Strange, hang on. My head, a ringing in my skull. Captain, I surrender to the contest. All right. So let's go ahead and get into the first fight here. Not expecting it to take too long, but of course as these fights ramp up, they will get more and more intense through the increasing difficulties. Now, I do recall when I was first going through these quests that I thought that the storyline was pretty intense right from the get-go, which was another reason I wanted to provide some dialogue to it. How satisfying, Captain America. You shall be my pawn. I've faced bigger and badder things. I have faced bigger and badder than you, Kang. Feeling weak, Flagman? You cannot deny the contest. No matter how you're pulling this off, Collector, it won't be enough. Bring a little Wolverine. It's the highest rarity I have him in as a 3-star, so he'll certainly see more reps in the earlier stages of these quests. And I remember when first starting out and parrying wasn't even an option. I made so many mistakes in these quests. But of course, as time's gone on, I've been playing this game for over 3 years now. Had quite a bit of time to practice my abilities. I have broken the captain's will, Kang. He is yours to control now. Summoner, I know you are Earth's last hope, but I am compelled to fight you. You must win. Excellent, Captain. Fight for Kang the Conqueror. I'll surrender to the contest. Bring in a little Black Panther here. I remember blitzing through this content when I was first starting out as well. What is a contest without a prize? The reason you compete, Summoner? The Isosphere. A collection of ISO 8 stars collapsed into a powerful orb. It could be yours, or it could belong to Kang. And I do notice that they've upgraded the enemies that spawn into these quests, because when I first started, none of these characters, Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, Spider-Man, Stark Enhanced, none of them were available characters. Can't even tell you who I fought first going through that. Do not underestimate me, Summoner. Your darkest days lie ahead. Remember, Kang, I have opened my Vault of Champions to the Summoners as well. Only the contest can tell us who is more worthy of the Isosphere. And in these starting quests, I am going to try to pick the more difficult paths, or in the progressive quests, I should say. But as of these first ones here, they're going to be pretty simple. It's going to be difficult, I guess I should say, to find what is the quote-unquote most difficult path. But going forward, I'll do a better job at scouting which path is the most challenging in order to provide better content in that regard, like the Juggernaut path that's in Act 4 and others like that. I am a genius who has mastered this time stream, Summoner. You won't stop me from obtaining the Isosphere. Forget the bit of banter that goes back and forth between these two in the beginning as well. Quite entertaining. Huh. Now, I did notice that one-star Stark Enhanced Spider-Man didn't have his auto-evade active. Probably to be a little nicer to beginning players, so tip of the hat there, Kabam. Summoner, look on the ground beneath your feet. A potion. That can be used to heal a champion before a fight, such as the one before you now. Valuable items are strewn all across the battle realm, just waiting for you to stumble across them. Some interesting intro mechanics as well. Unless you've got a burning dragon heart as a weapon, I'll stop you in my sleep. This is hardly my first contest of champions, you know. And I'm basically going to give whatever first voice comes to my mind and try to stay as loyal as I can. But if I do slip up, I apologize in not maintaining that accent. I will give it my wholehearted effort, though. With that, we've completed 1.1.2. And for the sake of keeping things brief, we'll do this next set of quests. We'll do 1.1.3, and we will go through continuing forward. As the quests get longer, I will limit it to one quest per episode, or per entry, I should say. Long have I struggled against the Long have I struggled against the champions of Earth, but no longer Once I win this contest, the planet shall kneel before me. Long live Kang! Now, just a quick aside, I'm wondering... Yeah, he doesn't have any of his other abilities active, so you don't have to worry about this 1-star Thor Ragnarok and auto-blocking you or gaining Boon of the Gods after, 20 consecutive hits. So it's quite nice that Kabam is allowing for a bit of a learning curve in these earlier quests. I mean, can you imagine walking into somebody like Diablo, who's just been entered into the contest this month, and having to deal with all of his special attacks and whatnot that goes in? Let's go ahead and jump over to Groot. Or more so his abilities. That would have been a nightmare. Centuries of technology at my beck and call. The knowledge of the eons at my command. I shall be the greatest ruler your planet has ever seen. Let's see. We haven't busted out Vision just yet. We'll make sure we give him a rep in the next fight. You can tell that this Groot doesn't have a reduced stun timer either. Didn't need to take a couple punches to the face there, but I wasn't too super concerned about him. Honestly, I just slipped up a little. And extra bonus, it gave us the ability to unleash the first special attack of this series. I said that I was, well, this is quite impressive, Summoner. I must confess, I did not expect such a spirited effort. But how long can you last? The contest shall reveal all. Now, I know I said that I had the class disadvantage against Groot. I was going to bring Vision in on this next one, so to stay true to that, gotta do it. Gotta bring him in. Might make things a little more interesting as well. I do remember being super confused as to why willpower and those healing masteries didn't work with Vision and other robots to begin with, but as time went on, it's made more and more sense. A battle amongst the stars. Truly, Earthling, you were born for this moment. Too bad I will end it by rupturing your skull. And we haven't used Black Panther on this fight, so let's jump in with that. I guess Drax just wanted to accept his fate there.
So that's where we're going to go ahead and stop. We'll end with the first 3 quests in Chapter 1 of Act 1. Let me know what you think about this in this series. Let me know what you think about this series in the comments below. And I hope that you have an absolutely fantastic day.